Hey everyone, today I want to share with you a technique to help you really kind of access what I call the hidden job market. Job postings on LinkedIn and all the major job boards are down by 30 to 50%. LinkedIn, just in July, laid off 970 of their employees. Now, that said, there are a lot of places in the economy that are doing very well. There are over 3,900 private equity firms in the United States. There are over 800 venture capital firms in the United States. They entered 2020 with $1.5 trillion of unspent capital. Not to mention all of the investments that they've made in the last, in 2019. Put together a short list of the, top 10 venture capital firms, the top 20 private equity firms. Do a search in your local market of the boutique private equity and venture capital firms. There are venture capital firms that specialize in health information technology, that specialize in logistics, that specialize in, you name it. I mean, there's just a software or technology or biotechnology venture capitalist, that specializes in that segment. Some of those firms also do recruiting for their portfolio companies. Andreessen Horowitz is probably the largest, or it's one of the top 3 venture capital firms in the United States. If you look at the portfolio of companies they're investing right now, inside of that portfolio tab, it says portfolio company jobs. And that will show you a list of all those companies and what they're actively searching for right now. And it's not all engineers. Yeah, they're looking for a lot of engineers, but there's sales, distribution, marketing, think of every functional area that a company needs. As a matter of fact, early stage and mid-market software companies employ 3 people to every 1 engineer. Let me say that again. They employ 3 people to every 1 engineer. So while the engineering team gets all the accolades and you hear all the buzz about the hiring going on in that area, if there's an engineer and there's a product, someone's got to sell it. If there's an engineer and there's a product, and that someone's got to market it. Not to mention customer success and operations and distribution and every functional area underneath the sun that it takes to run a company. When you look at a portfolio company of any venture capital firm, and that venture capital firm is not recruiting for them, that does not mean that they are not actively recruiting. You may have to go to their website. Now, if they're real early stage, they don't have an HR department, they don't have an internal recruiter, they don't have a job board. This is where you really then have to do your homework, look at, if you're in marketing, and you are a Pardot, expert, and that's what you love playing in. Look at those venture-backed firms or private equity-backed firms, because those are much more mature organizations where they're usually helping them either, grow through acquisition or, be much more lean and mean and become much more profitable. That's change. Wherever there is change going on, there's opportunity. So then identify those companies inside of those kind of pools of following the money that use the skills, use the tools that you love to use and play with. And then actively reach out to those organizations, whether they have an opening or not. Because I can tell you, where there is smoke, there is fire. Over the course of my career, when I'm reaching out to organizations that I know are going through tremendous growth, I'd say 1/3 to 1/2 of the placements that I make on an annual basis are with companies that we're not actively recruiting for, we're not actively advertising for the role that I approached them with a candidate that had the skill set that would be good for them. So this is a great resource for you to do something proactively to expand the universe of opportunities that would be available to you outside of just chasing job postings. Job postings are great, but that's only half the equation. If you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and/or sign up for my newsletter, Techniques, Tips, and Tricks in your job search.